Hello. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Newport News, Virginia. It was a wonderful trip, but I'm glad to be back in the seat in front of the camera and to communicate with all of y'all. It was a fantastic week with discussions. I really enjoyed hearing what you had to say. We are finishing that period of time that we call the play years. There was a lot of concentration in the reading and in the discussions on playing. Actually, the discussion was more about what to do with bad kids who were raising a ruckus. But anyway, what we're talking about this week is the age of children when they're starting school. I believe your discussion this week has to do with school, the whole idea of schooling. Toward that end, I'd like you to keep in mind that there is a difference between school and education and learning. They're all kind of different philosophical approaches. It is really important these days, especially as we see all the different things happening in the world around us, especially in this country. It's easy to see how people are lacking in certain social skills that maybe we think we try to remember that people weren't lacking in tens of years ago or hundreds of years ago. I'm not sure. I mean, I wasn't alive all that long ago, but I would have to say people have probably always had problems like that, learning how to get along and all. But as this is child psychology, I want you to really keep in mind that it's really important to understand how is it that children get the idea that they're supposed to behave a certain way and that it's okay and all. And as we saw with the discussion, as many of you pointed out, the concern about in the discussion, the concern was what happens if parents don't seem to really be cognizant of what their children are doing, and not just what they're doing. More important than what they're doing is to understand why they're doing that. Because I think if we understood why, we could probably focus on that, and things would turn out a lot better. So let's keep that in mind. And as we go into the whole time of schooling, I think it's easy just to look at children's behavior in school as what are they doing, and focus on that and punish them if they're doing the wrong thing, reward them if they're doing the right thing. And all that is behaviorism, as you've probably read up to this point. But we need to keep in mind it's important to understand the why, and then also keep an open mind to the fact that people don't necessarily all just want to school their children the same way. We have more and more people wanting to homeschool. We have a lot of children going to alternative schools like private schools and Catholic schools and Christian schools and charter schools, which are public schools, by the way. So the reason that people do that is they really want to have something to say about how their children are educated. They want to have that one-on-one time or one-on-10 time or whatever, rather than just plopping their kid down in a room full of people and assuming that somehow they're going to pick up what they need to pick up. I mean, I think most of us do, but there is always that to keep in mind. So that's what we're going into this next era or age is called the school years, because that's primarily how we as people develop. So focus in on that. What is school and what is really going on? And I really encourage you to think back honestly on your own school years and how you developed as a person. I hope you have a wonderful week. It's good to see you again. It's good to be back with you. I'm just glad to be here, even though I now remember I think I was supposed to put on a nicer shirt. This shirt is a little scratchy, but anyway, have a great week. I am so glad to see you, and keep thinking deeply and get along and don't fight.